Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, plays the Binding of AFTERBIRTH Plus, where we escaped by the skin of our teeth last time. Never understood that expression. It's probably something you can just look up, right? Give me a second here. KKPZ, LKRQ, decent HP for having Spirit Hearts only. Tears are okay, damage is okay, speed is okay. This is like a decent start, and the bean is at least useful. Skin of your teeth. Let's see the origins of this idiom. The meaning and origins of this phrase. The phrase first appears in English in the Geneva Bible, 1560. In Job 19:20, which provides a literal translation of the original Hebrew, I how escaped with the skin of my teeth. Alrighty. Well, I think that answers any conceivable questions that we could have had. Let's move along here. Oh, don't make me want to do it. Oh, you jerks. You jerks. So the cute play there, which is idiotic and I should not do it, is to pick up Curse of the Tower, walk into the fire, and then hope that the bombs don't explode on me and instead explode on the blue fires and give me as many Spirit Hearts as possible. If you do that, honestly, more power to you. You are God's chosen children. But that is an idiotic play for which I cannot abide. Either way, feeling good about today's run here. I was going to say today's daily, but obviously that's not what today's run is. Well, that's not what this run is, at least. We have already done a daily today. And it went very well. So you know what? I find myself looking at this and being like, I'm in a good situation. Our last run was quite scary, but only temporarily. Once we got through the fear of that last run and managed to get through, or get to a place of relative, not just safety, but like we were killing it, it became a lot easier. I think we should just blow it up. I was like, we're getting Spirit Hearts back, maybe we should just walk over the spikes, but then what are we going to use our bomb for? You know, blow that guy up, get a little money, find a secret room or something like that? It's basically, who cares? So, instead, we're just going to be thrilled that we have Super Bandage, an item that doesn't necessarily amp up our offense, but gives us a red heart, and that red heart hopefully can be used to amp up our offense a little bit later in the game when we find our first deal with the devil. And if we don't find a deal with the devil on the next floor, something has gone terribly, horribly wrong. Tears, please. Yes! And actually, like, we hit the mother load. Now, that's an expression I'm not going to look up the meaning to, but we hit the mother load on the health roll there. We got a lot of health that's actually useful for us. So one of these should be a library, or at least, yeah, a room of some specialness. We got Emperor, we got Fool, and we got Algiz. So what we're going to do is actually basically make a quality of life play here. I like when these happen because it gives me the ability to kind of like guilt-free start to steamroll a little bit. So we're going to take the Emperor card. Hopefully there's like a boss trap room pretty close here. There is. This is getting a little too convenient. It's starting to freak me out. We're going to open it up. We're going to take that. It's the ability to fly. And we're going to bounce out. And then we're going to fight the same boss that we were just about to fight anyway. And hopefully get this, well, I mean, guaranteed get this deal with the devil. And hopefully pick up something that gives us better damage ASAP. I mean, you definitely want this. And then you probably want that. Does that give you any Spirit Hearts? No. We know we have HP waiting for us on the outside. The question is more whether or not we actually want to... oh, we're going to get HP anyway. I thought that was going to take our Eternal Heart, but it didn't. So what I'm doing here is quite dicey, but ended up being very much worth it. We will still fly if we get Placenta, because we have Fate, which is why Fate is actually fine here. Empty Vessel is also, like, the invincibility from Empty Vessel is the big thing, to be honest with you, but... I'm happy with everything we got here. We also got 2 Demon Hearts out of picking up Empty Vessel. Mind you, we effectively paid 3 Spirit Hearts. We paid 1 Red Heart, but, you know, the equivalent of 3 Spirit Hearts to pick it up in the first place. So, we didn't actually really improve our damage, but we did get piercing shots, which I think are useful. One of the, not that it's, like, deserving of incredible amounts of celebration or anything like that, but I'm really glad they added another avenue to get piercing shots, because it's one of my favorite upgrades in the game, upgrade archetypes in the game at least, and there weren't that many ways to get it. You know, as long as we're ignoring things like Mom's Knife and Brimstone, you know, you basically had Sagittarius and Polyphemus a little bit, and then Cupid's Arrow, and that was it. Like, those were your ways to get piercing shots. So you could get Shoop to Whoop, but that's not really what I mean. You can give him Brimstone Mom's Knife, but that's not really what I mean. So to have a slightly more likely way to get piercing shots, even though it costs 2 red hearts, I think is totally worth it. We should keep the Demon's Tail. I think it's working wonders for us right now. So the last thing, I mean, we haven't been to our item room on this floor, which is what we're going to do, but the last thing we need to make this run really pop is still just damage. So even our rate of fire is great now. If we could just get like a literal damage upgrade, I'd be a happy camper. Zodiac is an item that, I mean, I don't know if there is like a competitive meta for Isaac. There definitely, you know, there's racing in the game, which I'm completely ignorant of the meta of that, but Zodiac is an item that, to the best of my knowledge, is not really taken because it gives you the potential to get stompy, which gives you the potential to hurt yourself, which is just, you know, bad all around. I take it, though, because, first off, sucks to your ass, Mar, and secondly, I got nothing to lose on this run anyway. We did get stompy, so we shouldn't be crushing mushrooms. I was doing that mostly just to see if we had it. But yeah, Leo is, I guess one of the lesser draws that you can get from that. You really want to pick up, like, Scorpio's pretty good, Pisces is okay, I guess in some situations, Virgo or, you know, once you get down to, like, the womb, the Cancer item would be great as well. Power Pill. That was... Is that always what Power Pill sounds like, or is it just... Power Pill probably just speeds up, like, the next spot of music, right? So, it's like the Dolby, or not Dolby, what is it? THX sound from, like, they don't do that at the movies anymore, but, you know, in, like, 1998, you go see a movie in theaters, and the THX sound comes on. Just to let you know how good the sound system is. Now, whenever I go to the movies, if I'm seeing something that's, like, new, you know, it's special effects heavy, they do the thing where, like... Oh, we gotta take these. Pentagram. Love the damage. Pact. Love the damage. Thank you. They do the thing where, like, if it has Dolby Atmos... Like, this is, like, the sound of popcorn popping, and it goes, like, all around binaural sound, like the back of your head, and then out both ears. And then you're like, well, that's pretty good. Can't wait to see, you know, the remaster of Schindler's List. It'll sound like all the dialogue's coming from all around me. They also had that on, like, every season of Game of Thrones on the on-disc copies. It does that, and I'm like, man, our TV. We got our TV for, like, $200 in a sale when a store went out of business. I don't know if we're really taking advantage of the Dolby Atmos right now. I'm not a sound system sort of guy. I'm not an audiophile, I guess is what I mean to say, and I respect people who are. Like, you know who is to some extent is, I mean, by the way, you're saying, I know you're not an audiophile. Have you heard your mic clipping? But yeah, to be fair, I can't disagree with that. Malf is kind of an audiophile. He's a detail-oriented guy. He likes to get things right, and I respect that, to be honest with you, despite not really being that kind of person myself. But, like, I listen to music. When I do, it's on, like, a cheap pair of earbuds, and then, like, one of the ears has, like, a short in it, so I have to pull on the cord to get it to sound right. It's not the ideal way to listen to anything, much less, you know, Contraband, the best of men at work, but I've been doing it for years. I'm just sort of, like, I'm used to it at this point. I live a... You know, I try to have a laconic lifestyle, I guess, as Spartan as possible for things like that. Really, like, if I want something nice, I just wait for, like, a special occasion, and then my wife will get it for me. And then that saves me the hassle, you know? It's like shoes. Like, I'll wear one pair of shoes until they're... I see other YouTubers, they're like, check out my Yeezys. And I'm like, damn, dude. It's like a $700 shoe. That's absurd. I'm wearing these, like, $50 New Balances. Once a year on my birthday, new pair of New Balances. That's my I'm not saying I'm Steve Jobs. I'm just saying it's the way I choose to live my lifestyle here. That wasn't a shot at Dan Giesling as well. Dan Giesling's got that Big Brother CBS money. If he wants to buy a pair of Yeezys, then by all means. How's this run popping off? Caves 2 at 8.5 minutes should basically tell you everything you need to know about this run. And our deals with the devil just keep getting better and better. Technically, we did not get a deal with the devil on our last floor, which is absurd. Because that means we have a great chance to get one on this floor. And we did get one on the last floor via teleportation, and it was amazing. So, we're still... I mean, I wouldn't complain, or deign to complain about this run whatsoever. Deign to Complain, of course, is my punk album, but it's still slightly light on the literal capital D damage. I say capital D damage to distinguish it, capital D distinguish it, from our DPS, which is very good because we have piercing shots and a great rate of fire. 6 damage is just a little light. It's not bad. It's a little lighter than we'd ideally be at. I mean, of course, we'd ideally be at infinity, as long as it didn't cause the game to crash. But, wouldn't mind popping off just a little bit more. Telepills. I mean, at least the Telepills does to a good place. And Gertie's a pretty good test, you know. We can see how, our damage is stacking up at this point. And the answer is, like, a little... I mean, Gertie's a tanky boss, but it's a little slow here, but that's okay. We should have a good chance at a deal with the devil. Hopefully we get HP, we can turn that deal with the devil in, you know, working for us pretty easily. And actually, you know, if we get Krampus, that would be fine as well. I could take a lump of coal or Krampus's head. This run's still got a lot of room for improvement, despite being very good. So Binky is, it lowers our tier cap and gives us, like, a Spirit Heart. And then Guppy items? No Guppy items. So a bit of a whiff on the deal with the devil. But Binky's okay. It's better if we can actually find a way to improve our rate of fire more, because I think it's a tier cap improvement, but we're getting to the point where, like, we don't have to talk about this run anymore because it has everything. It's not, the cup is not running over in any particular direction, but, you know, we've got great HP, we've got great utility items, basically the ability to fly. Our consumables are doing fine. You know, everything about this is completely set. And our DPS is actually above average by, like, a great degree when you factor in the piercing shots. So certainly I would say that we're lucky to be in this situation right now. Mom's contacts, mom transformation means nothing, but the mom's contacts pickup is quite good. If nothing else, it at least means, I was gonna say, and I was actually wrong about this, I was gonna say it means that we can go over there and, you know, fart on an enemy when they're frozen, but because of the way that... It's our pill. Because of the way that status effects work, we actually can have 2 applied simultaneously, which I still think is a little silly. It's not like status effects, for the most part, are overpowered at all, but, you know, I also didn't work on QA on the game, so it's possible it throws the whole thing out of whack. Not really rushing, but, to be straight up with you, finding it hard to slow down here as a result of the speed with which we're able to kill enemies. So we're gonna do everything. We'll probably hazard a crack at boss rush here is my guess. I'm totally cool with Fate's Reward, which at this point is basically just like a familiar that will shoot freezing tears on occasion. So I'm definitely not against that, although it's not the ideal item out of a golden chest. We did pretty well in that room regardless. And this floor not as likely to give us a deal with the devil, but we have gotten Steam Sale. So I will take either a greed fight that gives us Steam Sale again, or Super Greed, I guess, or if you could hook me up with, like, a restock. Then this run starts to become, like, Hush territory for certain. I mean, car battery. We definitely... There's no need for us to take Sharp Plug just so we can get, you know, incredibly expensive double uses out of the bean, but we will take car battery with the bean. I don't know if it works. Look, as far as I'm concerned, a fart's a fart. If you're in my company and you rip a little one that's audible, and you rip a big one that's, you know, it sounds like we're in Carnegie Hall, they're both equally uncool to me. You shouldn't... I'm not against, you know, human bodily functions here, but some things I think are better left private. We had this conversation on the NLSS, because Austin and Rob were of the opinion that, you know, to burp in someone else's company is not rude, and I'm very much, I disagree with that, although I do understand where they're coming from, namely that they're, you know, still living that bachelor lifestyle, but I used to live in a house in college with, I'm gonna play this, by the way. This isn't a mistake. It might be a mistake, but it's not unintentional, at least. I used to live in a house in college with 6 dudes and 1 girl who, you know, fancied herself being one of the boys. Cracking a cold one, if you know what I mean. See? Today's hottest memes. So, you know, I've been around burps. I've been around farts. It's not like somebody burps around me and I go, oh my god. How dare you? You know, that's... I'm not an unsullied like Grey Worm. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm sullied. However, I'm sullied like Tom Hanks, who could totally kick the crap out of Grey Worm if he wanted. But... Excuse me, sir. I don't like the way our shots look now. Like, it feels like it's harder to hit them because of the mini-mush pickup, but I do like having this level of speed. I just find the concept of a burp is gross. Like, you're summoning a smell from the depths of your belly that I don't want to smell. I mean, farting is also pretty bad, but I don't know. I kind of feel like a fart is a fart. A burp has like its own signature to it that I don't like. Everybody's farts smell like a different variety of poop. Everybody's burp is like what you had for lunch combined with like your mouth flora and then like, you know, your dental hygiene factors into that as well. There's a lot of like variables in there that it's like a bouquet, and I don't like it. And people then, you know, Rob and Austin go, well, my burps don't smell. They do. You just don't. It's like you don't smell your own breath. You know, it's because you're smelling it all the time. You become desensitized to it. You go nose blind to it, as they say in those Febreze commercials. You know, I'm not suggesting that my breath is better than yours by any stretch of the imagination. All I'm suggesting is that everybody, you know, smelling another person's breath most of the time is not a pleasant experience, and you're gonna have that on a burp. But moreover, that was a great face from Megama here, by the way. Thank you, Gimpy. I just think you shouldn't subject somebody else to your own to voluntary bodily functions. If you're like, you know, sitting on a train or something like that, and you had a soda and you got to go like I understand, okay? It happens. But you can kind of like diminish the sound. The only time I ever go like, what's up with this? This guy's being an actual jerk is when he goes, or, I mean, let's be honest, it's usually a dude. I'll own up to it for the rest of the dude kind. You know, you summon air into like the depths of your gut and then blow it out with the, it's like it's not an intentional burp necessarily, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna lean into this burp. That's when I go, okay, you've gone too far. I've had some, you know, you can ask Malf. I've had some flatulence in my life. And, you know, I've had some just terrible, terrible odorous flatulence. We gotta try it. I'm not sure if this is worth it or not worth it, but because our shots are piercing, the knockback shouldn't be that bad. I'm sorry if I'm shattering your image of, you know, the you know, sophisticated Northernlion here, but I'm not gonna apologize for the smell of my flatulence. I have no idea what makes it smell that bad. Everyone always assumes, you know, oh, your fart smells terrible, like your diet must be bad. I don't know if that's true at all. How do you know? Maybe bad smelling farts is a sign of great diet, you know? If your farts smell like cotton candy, you should stop eating so much dang cotton candy. Anyway, I don't know where I've gone with this, but the point is, you know, I've had times in my life where I've been a farty man. But it's always possible to hold it in. There's some situations in which you'll want to, you know, maybe try to sneak out a clandestine one. I can understand that. But, you know, for the most part, like 95% of farts don't have to exit in public. You can wait till you get outside. Maybe it's a little unpleasant. But hey, that's what society is like. You know, sometimes you deal with unpleasantness in order to not make everybody else's existence slightly more unpleasant as a result of your selfishness. You know, that's what separates us from the beasts. Or am I the only one around who cares about the rules? Anyway, I don't know where I was going with this. Make sure to like the video if you think burping's gross. If you think burping in public is gross, at least. If you think burping in public is cool, make sure to leave a comment that says burping in public is cool. And then like the video if you like the video. So we got Alges, we got Black Rune. We got many Black Runes, actually. We got Awaz. Which I should have used to skip boss rush. That was stupid. Alright. We're gonna take Black Rune, because we can still get the statistic bonus out of Black Rune. If we want to, but I don't know if I want to do boss rush anymore. I guess we'll see what the run looks like. Once we see what we get for like a deal with the devil here. Because soy milk was a bad pickup. It could be good later, but it was a bad pickup for right now. It's not doing what I wanted to do, which is like really amp up our DPS. I don't think it was terrible, but it was like nearly proportional. Like we lost like 80% of our damage and improved our rate of fire by 4 times or something like that, so. And it's still like a pretty easy fight. We still gotta deal with the devil. And it's a little Brim deal with the devil. It's not bad. We're at full HP, a little Brim. You know, no. I mean, you Black Rune and fight for it? I shouldn't have done this. Just tell you that straight up. There was no reason for us to have done this. This is gonna take 100 million years. We are gonna be doing this boss rush until the day we die. These are 2 tanky enemies, I'll give you that, but please God, give me like a devil card or so. Okay, see, like this is where things are starting to get a little scary. There's just no reason for it. You know what though? Now that I think about it, Little Brim is like a static damage dealer. Just make sure that you're firing Little Brim as often as possible. Might not be the fastest boss rush we've ever had, and it might not have been for much. And also, Little Brim, it's taking forever to get charged up, dude. I was stunned when Little Gertie died, and I saw how much damage still had to be done to Gish. I actually almost lost my mind. Okay, so, you know, throw bombs out here. You got golden bombs, I just realized. It's actually, you know, I entered a state of deep regret merely temporarily when I looked at this run. Or when I looked at this boss rush. I was like, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't have done this, and that's correct. However, we have golden bombs. Golden bombs are gonna buy us a lot of damage, basically. We're gonna live longer as a result of their existence. I don't know what we did to the other enemy. I guess they just were not very tanky. See, if every wave was like that, I'd be a happy man. Can our shots from Belial Tears do, like, more damage than the first hit if there's only one enemy? I don't believe so. I thought you died. I thought I saw you die. Either way, I'm glad I realized that we had golden bombs, because we're actually going to get out of here, I think in a... Hello? 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 Where, there we go. In a relatively timely fashion. Albeit probably with a little bit less HP than I would have liked. And the Little Brim pickup might have saved us as well. But again, was it worth it for the value we got out of this? Almost certainly no. It's my favorite fan-made sequel to a James Bond film. It's Dr. No, and then Dr. Almost Certainly Yes. Doctor, doctor, tell me the no. I got a golden gun. My name's James Bond. That's my spy parody of Dr. No. It's called Doctor, Doctor, Tell Me the News. I got a bad case of loving you. And then in parentheses it says James Bond theme. In parentheses it says Superman. it's not easy. You know, I read an article, well, it's Wikipedia, let's be honest. It might have been defecating today. I was reading about Savage Gardens, because I was like, what happened to Savage Garden? Well, it was a deep rabbit hole, actually. I Wikipedia'd Men at Work, and then you're like, oh, Men at Work, you know, Down Under was ranked 4 in Australia's 30 best songs that they did, you know, about their country, or something that had been produced in Australia by Australian bands and singer-songwriters. So I'm like, okay, what else is on that list? And they're like, oh, Savage Garden. I forgot that Savage Garden was Australian, so I read up about Savage Garden. For a band that was on the radio for like 22 years, Savage Garden had like a 6-day career, which is amazing to me. They'd made 2 albums. It's less than Guided by Voices made in a month, but either way, there was like, not that I want it, but there was a Savage Garden like reunion post where they asked the lead singer like, hey, any chance Savage Garden would ever get back together? Because I'd like to hear Truly, Madly, Deeply for the 134,000th time instead of just 133,999 times. And the lead singer said, if it would cure cancer, I would get back together. Apart from that, no. That's some bad blood, dude. Why not? We'll take fruitcake. Like, what if it would cure oral herpes? That would help a lot of people out. Not quite at the same level of one of the most deadly diseases. I don't think we need the virus, honestly. But it would still be helpful. But, like, that's not enough. You'd be like, sorry, no, I'm looking for more. I don't think you need tractor beam either. Ah! You should have stuck with the virus. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. I mean, I guess I could understand it, like, if I'd written... Like, I don't want to hear any Savage Garden song ever. I'm not insulting Savage Garden, by the way. If you like Savage Garden, more power to you. But if I could never hear another Savage Garden song as long as I lived, I wouldn't even notice. I've heard Truly, Madly, Deeply infinity times. I'll be your something, something else I'll be. I'll be your something, something else that I'll be. You know, it's just... I think that the Flight of the Conchords song that Brett writes about his girlfriend in season 1 is a parody of that. You know, it's like... And I'm just stealing the bit, but at least I'm giving credit. You know, I'm sourcing the bit. You know, he says, like, I'd climb the highest mountain. And then, you know, Jermaine is like, would you really climb the highest mountain for her? And then Brett's like, no. And Jermaine's like, well, why'd you say it? And then Brett said, well, it's a metaphor. And Jermaine says, a metaphor for what? And he says, you know, for how I'd do anything for her. And then Jermaine says, well, would you climb the highest mountain for her? And then Brett goes, I see your point. Which I always thought that was a genius bit that I've butchered incredibly here. But then, you know, they also had, there was like the Animal song. Heard that about 1.5 million times. There's that, ooh, I want you, I don't know if I need you, but ooh, I'd die to find out. Not a big fan of that one either, to be honest with you. Or at least if I was at one point, it's been played, it's been ground to dust. The amount of times they played that at the old Radio Shack. And by that I mean the shack where the radio comes from. Not Radio Shack, the now defunct brand. Anyway. I took, this run is just strange now. I took White Pony. I think White Pony's like, it's a good item. It's a good spacebar item. It's our 3rd ability to fly. It's getting a little silly, but I like the fact that once every 4 rooms we're going to be able to do some good work with it. It's a collaborator. Mostly, like, the inherent strength of this run is... we shoot really quickly, and some of those shots are going to give us blinding light. I'm not trying to disparage, you know, the other good qualities of this run, but that's really the moneymaker right now, is the fact that we're rolling the dice to get a good effect quite frequently. What makes you larger is basically extraordinarily irrelevant right now. Anyway, the run should be a fairly easy win. I think we might have soy milked ourselves, which is a strange expression, out of the... That's my key. He took it. We might have soy milked ourselves out of a great ability to do the hush fight with confidence, but it's not at all bad. It's Just not maybe quite as good as it looked. But when you see soy milk, like, you're already sort of screwed. You just have to lean into it, I think. And I like soy milk. Soy milk is in no danger of entering the pile of, like, items that I will not take every time that it shows up. Like, Isaac's Heart, I will never take, because I've had enough tangible bad experiences where it basically ruined my run. And rerolls maybe should enter onto that pile, but I like doing them. So, you know, so sue me. There's a girl that's been on my mind all the time, so sue me. It's a Susudio riff. It doesn't really work, but you get the idea. Soy milk, it's got redeeming characteristics, and it's fun. So I'm gonna keep taking it. But on this situation, it was probably the wrong call. The reason that I took it is because once you see it, you might as well take it. You've already lost a great chance to get special items in the future. You might as well go with a special item they gave you, even if it's not so good. Unless it would actually ruin your run, in which case, don't take it. But I don't think it ruined our run. It seasoned it, and we should have gotten Buffalo. We got, the honey garlic instead, and we're like, the place is called Buffalo Wild Wings. We should have why would you get the honey garlic? But I've never been to a Buffalo Wild Wings. I phrased that as if it was like a political thing, like, I've never been to a Buffalo Wild Wings. But really, it's just, I don't think I've ever been around a Buffalo Wild Wings, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know if they have it in British Columbia. I mean, we probably should take this as long as we don't die immediately upon picking it up. We have a place here called Wings, but I don't think that's Buffalo Wild Wings. All I think is, like, that's like getting the Twitter handle, like, twitter.com/USA or something like that. Like, what should we call our restaurant? What do we sell there? Wings. All right, look it up. It's got to be taken, but if it's not taken, sure, we'll call it Wings. And then you comes back the next day, and he's like, it's not taken. You're like, well, we got to take it. How could we not take Wings? It's out of control. Anyway, this has now become a run where, like, I've exhausted my riffs, dude. I need more riffs. You're alive? I actually got so mind-flooded. I was not really paying attention. There was just like a little, like, white popcorn thing going on the screen there. This is 2 floors in a row with Curse of the Unknown, and I find myself slightly perturbed and frightened about the situation. But as long as we... I mean, if we find a second secret room, we can make use of portable slot. But I feel like that's... Portable slot ends up being useful in, like, literally maybe, like, 5% of the times you actually find it. But that doesn't mean that we should ignore it 100% of the time. I just want to see my HP, please. I haven't seen my HP in 3 years. That's long enough to declare it legally dead. It's Fat Buddy from Austin Powers 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me. You remember him. I thought his name was different. No, you must be... Oh, you saw the unrated version. In the version that's safe for YouTube, he's called Fat Buddy. It's very... it's a Berenstein Bears, Mandela effect sort of situation. Could you do me a favor and grab that, please, Bumbo? Thank you. See, the thing is, Bumbo, I'm gonna need you to deal, like, all of the damage that we ever do on this run. So, if you could find it in your heart to get to max level as soon as possible, I'd be an extremely happy camper. I don't like that these are exploding more often. I liked it when they weren't exploding that much, and I felt better about my my chances of survival, but it is working. We're getting the coins, I'm just now realizing, because of Fruitcake. And I guess Piggy Bank when we get hit as well, but Fruitcake is occasionally even giving us Head of the Keeper. Which makes sense. We got enough bombs to go for these, I think. Yeah, let him take those. We've got to be getting pretty close here. Pretty close to him reaching max level, I mean. So we're just waiting for Libra. I mean, I could try to spin it 100 different ways. We know what we're looking for here. We're looking for Libra in all the right places. A Libra pickup completely changes the game. We probably go from like... We go from 1 rate of fire to 2 rate of fire. We go from 2 damage to, you know, probably like 70. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, but... You understand where I'm coming from. Oh, I shouldn't have made the leap, but it still worked. Alright, max level Bumbo is where I want to be, but I guess I'm already there. I'm still trying to, like, divine how I feel about, static electricity tiers. I think they're, like, not that great, but they look cool as heck. And they're especially not that great if you can only get them, like, now and then. But if you get them consistently, I think they can be interesting. I'm just not sure if they're, like, a 10 out of 10 yet. Please don't give me Curse of the Unknown for one more floor. We're about to get win number 12. Curse of the Maze is okay by me. I like this, actually. Midas Touch gives us something we can really use to take advantage of for permanent Polaroid invincibility. Or Power Pill, for that matter. Alright, like, not quite the greatest amount of damage that I've ever seen in my life. I don't care. Pick up the money. I don't need it. We're gonna go from 91 damage, 92 damage per tick to 99. Who cares, man? The Soul was a nice pickup. It's pushing away the shots that would otherwise be annoying for us to deal with. And again, we should have, like, a pretty easy win coming our way. Right, Fire Mine. Stop shooting. But I feel the need to apologize, not necessarily for picking up soy milk, but, you know, some items which shall remain nameless that rhyme with, you know, boy silk. Well, of all the rhymes you could have chosen, why'd you go boy silk? That's just the worst. Something that rhymes with, toy elk. Yeah, toy elk, that'll do it. Hey, it's me, your cousin. This is the sound you've been looking for. Toy elk. That's I'm a little apologetic for picking that up because it squandered a little pace on this run. But you know what? You can squander some salsa. You still got tortilla chips left in the bag. You're gonna eat the salsa nonetheless, right? Probably, unless you some kind of weird. I mean, I'll eat tortilla chips without salsa. But if I have tortilla chips and salsa, they go together. It's not like I'm just gonna leave some salsa in the fridge and eat some tortilla chips. That's madness. Much more of a social affront than burping in public, I promise you that. I promise you that is my personal opinion. This is how that sentence should have been ended. Anyway! The dusting continues, but the run never ends, man. This is just... At this point, we're approaching the platonic ideal for an Isaac run, which is as soon as I get a damage upgrade on the first floor, you might as well just say game 1 and let me reroll the Eden start to see what happens. We gotta play this one out, though, just to see. You never know. Rogue D4 could show up and throw everything into disarray. Thank you, Gimpy. Like, great work, Gimpy. I think we're just gonna walk into this guy. Like, mathematically and psychologically, this seems like the best option because there's literally no risk of death. Didn't end up popping off damage-wise quite like I expected, but that's win number 12. Nothing to sneeze at, and we're looking pretty strong here. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.